Guys, it really does not give me any joy to do this. I don't want to come here and just criticize a show that was so formative in my childhood and a show that I have loved so much. But I don't know how much longer that I can keep watching Doctor Who in its current form. And it really doesn't make sense because, in my opinion, Russell T Davies was behind some of the best Doctor Who ever made. But now, he's also behind some of the very worst. So, the 2024 Christmas special. When Joy opens a secret doorway to the Time Hotel, she discovers danger, dinosaurs, and the Doctor. But a deadly plan is unfolding across the Earth just in time for Christmas. This episode for me, it's like those images where you squint your eyes and it kind of looks like something nice, but then you actually look at the image with your eyes fully open and you see what it really is. That sums up my feelings about this episode, so try it right now. Try it with this image here. That sums it all up. To cut straight to the chase, I absolutely cannot stand how the Doctor cries for any single reason you could pick out under the sun. If he's sad, he cries. If he's angry, he cries. If he's scared, he cries. There are tears rolling down his cheek no matter what happens. It is ridiculous.
Today's done it again, Harry Kane. Done it again. Done it again. Granted,
it completely ruins the character, in my opinion. And guess what, guys? In this episode, he doesn't just cry once. He doesn't just cry twice. He cries three times. 3 times we've got tears rolling down the Doctor's cheeks. Now, guys, I can understand if you think maybe I'm being a little bit disingenuous with how I've started this video, but I think it's really important to acknowledge that it is perfectly healthy to cry. It's important to be able to release those emotions. We really do need to acknowledge in our society that it is okay to not be okay, and that mental health is a really serious problem that we all need to acknowledge and support each other working through. We need to make a safe space for that. But, and now this is a big but, because this is in the realm of TV. Perhaps, maybe if you're a 700-year-old time-traveling alien Time Lord in a show that's about traveling through time and fighting aliens and monsters. Oh wait, but sorry, you're not allowed to call them monsters anymore according to this iteration of the show. Maybe in that circumstance, maybe you shouldn't cry every single time that there's a slightly significant emotional beat in an episode. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that it feels really inconsistent based on my understanding of the Doctor's character for him to now become this emotional so easily. The Doctor is an alien. Alien meaning that he is not human. Emphasis on not human. So why is he crying all the time like he is one? He never used to do this. Back when David Tennant's 10th Doctor used to show emotion, when it was the Master dying, or when it was him about to regenerate, those scenes were really powerful because of how rare it was for the Doctor to actually show that emotion. So when he did, you knew that it was important. You knew that it was a big deal. But now, bro just cries when he sees a monster and he gets a little bit scared or something a little bit shocking is happening. How did this happen? How did this happen to this character, guys? And to be very clear, I don't blame Ncuti Gatwa for this. You can clearly see that he's an impressive actor. He's got a great range of emotions, and it's all on display in this episode, whether it's him going from sad and scared Doctor to whimsical and funny and extroverted Doctor, to when he's menacing and scary, when he's insulting Joy's mother in order to save her. As an actor portraying the Doctor, those are all beats that you want to be able to hit, and he does a great job at actually being able to do it when he's asked to. The problem is that I think this emotional range is either overutilized or underutilized or put in the wrong places, and after a season and a few specials, I think that blame pretty much falls on the showrunner, Russell T Davies. Look, I know Stephen Moffat wrote this episode, maybe the writers have something to do with it as well. I don't know what the scripts are saying. Overall, that is a character directive that I think must have come from the series showrunner. And because of that, I just don't understand the Doctor as a character anymore. And for me, overall, that's why now the show, it just falls apart for me. And just on that too, wasn't Ncuti Gatwa's incarnation of the Doctor meant to be a more healed and refined version of the character? At least that's what he kept telling the 14th Doctor. But here he is in this episode talking smack to himself, saying how lonely he is, saying how people always leave him, acting so angry and, you know, spending a year in the hotel by himself because he's running away from his own problems. Again, there's just no consistency or arc to the character. It doesn't make sense. So yeah, the rest of the episode, man, the humor, it just doesn't land for me. And look, maybe it's just my personal taste, but there was just nothing here that really gave me a chuckle. The characters, they feel like complete caricatures. I mean, who talks to flies? Come on, guys. And also, that hotel worker that the Doctor stays with, she doesn't seem scared or worried or shocked about any of the weird things going on in the hotel. Again, it just makes no sense. The show doesn't seem to care about continuity or time traveling rules, and it hasn't for a while now, ever since Russell T Davies took back over the show. Like running into all these different time periods, it doesn't seem to have any consequences at all. And also the Doctor gets told that he is mansplaining, which I don't have the energy to go into right now, but it's just not my cup of tea, guys. I'm also a bit unsure about my feelings with the Star of Bethlehem actually being a result of events in this episode. You could probably write a whole video essay on that as well. You know, I'm not sure. I could be convinced either way, but my initial reaction was like, yeah, I don't know about that. My dad did ask me an interesting question on that and say, would you rather they just not acknowledge that period of history? And no, I probably would rather that they do acknowledge that. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I'm not sure, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about that in the comments. But yeah, what did I like about this episode? You're probably going, was there anything that this guy liked? And there were a few things. I mean, I think the whole design for the Time Hotel was really cool. All the portals looked awesome. It was cool to go to a futuristic science fiction setting. I did really enjoy that aspect. The timey-wimey part of the plot as well, where it had the Doctor interacting with his future and past self. I do like that kind of thing. I think Moffat's good at writing that, so I enjoyed that part. Some people might not like it, but I actually don't mind the overall idea of the Doctor spending a year on Earth, living kind of very casually in a hotel. Like, it kind of calls back to the Pertwee era of the show, and I don't mind that. I quite like it. But on the complete other end of the spectrum, that whole scene with the T-Rex, the practical effects with the rooms sort of moving around, and also the digital effects, that looked really, really good. And so that was a fun scene. I did like that. And yeah, I don't have any complaints about Nicola Coughlan either. I think she seemed here like she was a good actress. I haven't really seen her in anything else before, but I have to agree with some of the comments on this episode that it felt like her character was a bit underutilized. But sadly here for me, and maybe it's just the weight of my ongoing disappointment with how Doctor Who has changed in the last sort of 6 years, I've got to give this episode 1 star out of 5. Look, maybe in isolation, right, and if I wasn't carrying all this grumpy baggage, because I know I've been very grumpy in this video, maybe it could be a little bit higher, because as I said, there were some parts that I enjoyed, but man, I just don't know how long I can watch this show and sit here and just be so negative. And I feel bad too, because I'm sitting next to my dad and he kind of enjoyed the episode, and he's sitting next to me and I'm there going, I do personally feel like the show's objectively gotten a lot worse, and this new direction it's going in is wrong, but that could just be my taste. But that being said, I have filmed my reaction to the new Season 2 trailer, which I think actually maybe looks okay. So if you want to see that, make sure you click on the card in the end screen. Thanks for watching, guys.